Welcome back to another episode of the Uplevel Your Online Business Show. I thought it would be helpful to create an episode kind of just like based off of a conversation that I had with a client yesterday, where we were talking about her ideal client and how there's a big mother wound that her ideal client has, and how it's really helped her face that for herself. But at the same time, she's like, ooh, am I going to ruffle feathers if I talk about these things? And if I talk about, like how your family doesn't really support you and your family's probably not like the best people for you in terms of wanting to really define who you are and go after the things that you truly want to do without facing backlash from them. And I also was just looking at a few social media, because usually when something pops up, you know how the algorithm goes, right? When something pops up, it's more than likely to pop up over and over and over again. And I think this is going to be a really great episode for a lot of people. So I wasn't planning on doing this one, but here it is. And really what I want to kind of title this is more of what to do when the people closest to you, or when the people who are supposed to be closest to you are trying to put you down and not necessarily like lift you up for the things that you know that you really want to do in your own life. And I think that this hits so close to home for so many people because, one, we're not supposed to acknowledge it. Two, there's a lot of shame hidden in this too, because everyone wants to come from the perfect family. Everyone wants to have the perfect relationship. It could be for you. It could be your mom, your dad, your uncle, your aunt, your cousins, your sister, your brother, maybe a best friend that you've had your entire life. And all of a sudden you're here and you're like, oh my God, I have this really big, amazing vision for my life. And it's kind of different than the vision that you have for your life. And is also different from the vision that you had for my life. But I'm just so excited about this thing and I really want to talk to you about it. And I just really want to do this different thing. And this is for all of you where that person has looked at you and they've either like completely put it down, made fun of it, mocked you, or just told you flat out, this isn't possible. You're not doing this. Who do you think you are to be doing this type of thing? And then all of a sudden you go, wait, am I crazy? Should I not be doing this thing that I really want to do? Because this person who claims to be very, very important in my life is telling me that I shouldn't be doing this thing. Okay. This is for all of you because I have dealt with this in my own life. And I want to say that I've kind of like gotten over it. Thankfully, I'm kind of like on the other side of all of the pain and emotion that really came from all of that. But I want to talk about the best ways that I've really gone through in order to address this and just kind of move forward, because this is really, this is the Uplevel Your Online Business Show. So this is very much so tied to starting a business, scaling a business, growing a business, outgrowing the identity that someone has given to you, and just like really feeling comfortable with the fact that you're becoming someone different and you know that you're becoming someone even better than what the person that they want you to become is. They just can't see it yet, and that's okay. So here's what we're going to talk about. First is, the dread and the feeling like you're not good enough, the feeling like you're going crazy. I remember once going to a therapist and sitting in her office and saying to her, like, I can't decide whether or not I want to quit my job and move to Nicaragua, or whether I just want to stay here living in Toronto. And within 5 minutes of me being in a session with her, what we discovered is that I had already decided. I just needed permission. And I wasn't giving myself permission because other people in my life weren't giving me permission to do the thing that I really wanted to do. And so that's why I was second guessing myself, because I thought I was going crazy by wanting to do this thing that other people were telling me that was such a bad idea. Same thing happened when I met my husband. I had a lot of people in my life who were coming to me telling me that, like, this is a bad idea. What if love isn't enough? There were a lot of different people in my life who just really wanted to stop it from happening because they were so afraid for me. And I think that that's the first thing to understand, is that Most of the time, the people in your life aren't necessarily doing this to you. They're either incredibly worried about you and they don't want to see you fail because they don't know of examples of people who have succeeded, because they don't see the things that you've seen. And so they don't see the expansion that you've seen in other people. So that's the first thing, is the vast majority of people in your life are really just scared for you and they're anxious and they're worried because they don't see the things that you can see. And also, two, they might be living out an image of themselves where they couldn't create specific things for themselves. And so if they couldn't do those things for themselves, they automatically are a little bit jealous. This especially is with like friends, not necessarily as much family, but they're likely a little bit jealous and they feel threatened by the fact that you believe it's possible for you, even though they didn't believe it's possible for them. And so they need to just feel like they are gaining something by telling you that it's not possible for you. Because they're basically mirroring their own projections of themselves onto you, right? Everything that anyone else says about you is usually a projection of themselves. So understanding that, I think, is one of the most important things here, is just understanding that, like, generally speaking, whatever the person is saying is not about you. It's more than likely about them, right? It's a wound that they have. It's a projection that they have that's coming onto you. So now that we know that, and now that we've understood that aspect of what it is that we're dealing with, how do you get the confidence? Where do you go from there? Where do you go from there when you're just like, well, I still want to do this thing. My mom doesn't support me. My dad doesn't support me. My sibling doesn't support me. Whoever this person is, they think I'm crazy. This is always the person that I came to for support. I was just so excited to tell them about this thing, and now they're putting it down, right? So it makes you feel like you're crazy with your own dreams and your own aspirations. The very first thing that helped me was just understanding and like really taking back my own agency within my own life and saying, okay, well, it's okay that these people don't understand what it is that I want. Doesn't mean that what I want isn't right. It just means that they don't understand. And two, you're not crazy. And I think that that's a really important thing for me to also tell you, because that's something that I needed someone to tell me at the time, is that I'm actually not crazy. There's nothing wrong with me. I want to take risks that are bigger than the risks that other people want to take. At the same time, I'm willing to understand that those risks might not result in what I want, but I want to take them anyways. And that's a really important piece of this entire thing. If you know that there is an inherent risk to investing in your business, for example, or to quitting your job, you need to accept that risk and you need to accept your own liability within the risks that you take for yourself. If you're not accepting your own liability, that's a completely different problem. Then we're in victim mentality, right? But if this person is telling you, hey, you know what? I think you're crazy for doing this, and there's a lot of risk involved in this, and you're saying, okay, yeah, I get that. And I see what it is that you're saying, but I still want to do this. And I know that there's a possibility that this can't work out, but it's okay. I've already come to terms with that. Then that's also all you need, because you accept the risk yourself. I knew that there was a risk for me quitting my job and moving. Huge risk, right? Huge, huge risk. But at the same time, most people don't do it because of the risk. And that's also why I got such a great reward for it, because it was a huge risk. But at the same time, with a huge risk comes the potential for a huge, huge reward. And now here I am, 8 years later. I'm still working for myself. I've actually made multiple millions of dollars working for myself online, basically working part-time through the week. And I can do all of this because I decided that the risk was worth it. And so that's one thing, is like, we really need to take accountability for ourselves in terms of what it is that we want to be doing. Because if we're not going to take full accountability for what it is that we want to be doing, then obviously we're going to play the same victim that they're trying to get us to play. You're not a victim of your life. You're the creator of your life. Okay. You're not a victim of investing in your business. You're not a victim of, oh my goodness, you're quitting your job and now you're stranded. No, no, no. Those are all things that you created for yourself. You consciously created. And so taking accountability over your life and over the things that you want is the first thing that's going to give you agency in your conversations with any of these people. The next thing is understanding that you need to trust yourself. You can't just keep on putting all of your decisions and all of your eggs in other people's baskets. This is what agency is for. You need to trust yourself. These people are telling you that you can't do this thing, but in your gut, you're saying, oh, but I really do want to do this. Trust yourself. Trust that. Trust your intuition. Okay. You can't go wrong. Even if you do go wrong, even if the thing that they are afraid that's going to happen to you happens to you, hey, you tried it. It's great. You tried the thing that everyone else was afraid of you trying. It didn't work out for you. At least you tried it. Now you know, right? Now you have that certainty. But if you don't trust yourself enough to make that decision, you're always going to have other people making decisions for you. And we don't want that, right? Also, that's what creates all of the anxious feelings inside of you is when you give your agency to other people. So trusting yourself, trusting the thing that you really want, huge, huge. And then another part of that is also looking into expanders in your own life to see what's possible for you. So if you're seeing that person absolutely killing it online and you're like, hey, they're not that different from me, it's because they're not. It's because they're not that different from you. Right. And ultimately understanding that like every single piece of your evolving into who you are becoming is we're going to require a different aspect of you to die. Okay. And that different aspect of you that's going to die is going to be another thing that makes you hold on to that one person. And that one person who's trying to tell you not to do anything, they're going to try everything that they can to keep you there because they want to keep you in their belief system. Because if they can keep you in their belief system, they can stay connected to you. Just human beings, right? This is just what we do. So the more that you try to become the best version of yourself, the more that people who have not become the best versions of themselves are going to try to cling on to you and try to hold you back. You can still love them. You can still accept them and have your agency to be and to say, no, that's not for me. I'm going to keep on growing. I'm going to keep on climbing this mountain. You can stay down here. That's totally fine. That's with you. That's your life. My life, I believe that I can get up here. And so I'm going to continue to do that. Yes, that's probably going to drive a little bit more of a wedge between us. We're not going to have as much in common anymore. I'm not going to have that same belief system because in order for me to get there, I need to shift the belief system that you gave me. There's a part of the belief system that you gave me that I cannot take with me to get up there because I really, really want to get up there. And I know that getting up there is going to be amazing. I believe it. I trust my intuition about that. But understand that these people that are telling you that you can't do it or trying to put you down or shame you is just because they want to keep you within the belief system where you connected to them in the first place. But you need to get out of there because you know that in order for you to get to where you want to be, you can't align with that anymore, right? It's like friend groups. If you have a toxic friend group and you know that all of your friends are all complaining about their weight and then they're all drinking slushies all the time, and you know that in order for you to kind of get to the ideal way that you really want to be, you need to stop with the victim mentality. You need to stop with all the people who are constantly talking about how it's not their fault and you want to take full accountability for your life. Your belief system is going to change. The belief system that made you belong there is no longer going to be inside of you. It's going to make you drift away. And that's okay, because as you're going up the mountain, you're going to find other people who share the new belief system that you want to adopt. And trust me when I say this, it is even better at the top than you thought it was. Because on your way to the top, you're still having all of these thoughts and you're having all these anxieties of, well, were they right? What if they were right? And so you're kind of climbing and climbing and climbing. You're doing all this work on yourself that no one else is doing, right? Because remember, they want to stay exactly where they are. So you're doing all of this stuff that no one else is doing. And you're like, what if I'm wrong? What if I'm doing all of this work for nothing? And so once you get there, you're like, damn, this is really good. Wow. I knew that this was going to be good, but this is awesome because now I'm up here and now I no longer have that belief system that feels really icky to me either. Now I don't even align with that. I've become this new person. And when you start becoming this new person, all of a sudden, all of those fears of all of those other people, they don't even matter to you anymore because you're just like, wow, I've updated my belief system and I've shifted who I am internally so much that now these things that this person was trying to keep me connected to them with They're not even inside of me. I don't even relate to them anymore. A part of that is a little bit sad, to be honest, because you kind of want to stay connected with people, especially if it's your mom, your dad, your siblings. But you know that upgraded identity for yourself and that upgraded belief system is just so much better. It feels so much better internally, and it's going to allow you to do so much more in your life. And so that's why you need to keep on going and trusting yourself that you actually do know what you're doing. You can trust yourself to make your own decisions. And there are other people out there who've done the things that you really want to do. The biggest thing is making sure that you're focusing on that, and you're focusing on that trust that you have in yourself and in your faith, in your spirituality, in God. Trust that you are always where you are meant to be, and that you're going on a path in terms of who it is that you want to become. But just understand that that is why people are going to try to put you down, because they don't think it's possible for them. And because they don't think it's possible for them, they don't think it's possible for you. So some people are going to put you down because they don't want to see you fail, and they're afraid of seeing you fail because they really don't think that you can do it. Other people are going to put you down because if they see you succeeding, it means that they could have succeeded too, and they just didn't try hard enough for themselves, and they don't like seeing other people succeed. You definitely don't want those people in your life. But understanding that there are some people in your life that you will have to disengage with and disconnect with around certain belief systems is part of your up level. It's part of up leveling yourself and ultimately up leveling your business. Let me know how this sits with all of you, because I don't think I've done an episode like this before. I think it's helpful. I was just having a conversation about this with a client, which is what inspired me to do it. But if you liked this episode, I would love for you to like and subscribe wherever you're listening from. And remember that you can always reach out to me on Instagram. It's at Sarah without an H, JLOUREIRO. I'd love to hear from you and hear, like what you really got out of this episode. Let me know. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Uplevel Your Online Business Show. If you enjoy our show and would like the show notes and free goodies about how to grow your online coaching business, head over to sarahjlorero.com for more information. We hope you'll tune in next time.